Hello again, and welcome to Season A, the platform where we speak truth to power. We're hearing some news. Apparently, our president Tinubu has got some new plans for NNPC. Shall we take a look? Let's go have a look. Peter Huzoro, covered by from the This Day News. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Policy Advisory Council has proposed the sale of the major stakes of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in the upstream, midstream, and downstream sector of the oil gas industry. This day gathered from a Policy Advisory Council report dated May 2023 that the federal government will earn about $17 billion from the sale of the NNPC's majority stakes in the oil and gas assets. According to the submissions from the Energy and Natural Resources Subcommittee Advisory Council, Tinubu's administration should consolidate the regulatory agencies by merging Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulation Authority, and the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board under a single regulator. The members will include Austin Alvuru, Olu Verigen, Abdulrazak Iza, Bashir Bello, Ifeanju Ajuluchuku, Doyin Akinyanju, Tinuade Sunday, Ahmed Zakari, George Etomi, Natsuri Wada, Mohamed Abbas, and Shegun Lawson. They proposed that the government should work towards achieving some milestones within the first 100 days ending August 2023. The council advised Tinubu's administration to organize the NURPC and NNPD to deliver set milestone goals and headhunt and place capable resources in critical positions in the oil and gas sector. The council further advised that the president should headhunt competent, tested, reform-focused leaders in NNPCL and ensure that the company discharges its functions as a commercial entity as stipulated in the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. The council advised that the NNPC should also be strengthened and placed in a position where it would be paying taxes, royalties, profits to the federation account, properly regulated by NUPRC, NMDPRA, and NCDMB. Though the president has removed the petrol subsidy, the council which was set up when Tinubu emerged as a president-elect, equally opposed the deregulation of petrol pricing and implementing federal direct cash transfer program with the disbursement of $8 billion in direct cash transfer to the poorest 30 million Nigerians. It advised the president to end insecurity in oil-producing states, including Imo, Delta, Ondo, River, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, by engaging key political and community stakeholders. The council called for the reforming of the operations of the military task force with clearly defined key performance indicators, KPIs, and consequent management to tackle deficiencies. To improve financing in the oil and gas sector, the council called for a debt repayment framework and a transition to market price for gas. It stressed the need for Tinubu's government to put robust policies in place in order to unlock Nigeria's energy potential to fuel economic growth and diversification while improving energy security sustainability. It proposed that the government should work to raise Nigeria's oil and gas production to 1.8 million barrels per day and 3.5 billion cubic feet in the next 18 months ending December 2024. The Advisory Council urged President Tinubu to mandate NLPCL, NUPRC, NMDPRA to close out outstanding divestments and contract issues for project delivery clarity. It further urged the president to strip NNPCL of policymaking roles and keep NCDMB within its mandate as prescribed by the Local Content Act. The council advised the president to consider integrating NUPRC, NMDPRA, and NCDMB into a single regulator or include all midstream activities into NUPRC scope. The advisory council also called for the expansion of the domestic gas reserves and the promotion of the development of a diversified oil and gas industry by implementing reforms in the PIA, including the National Gas Transportation Network, code NGTNC, while proposing the development of a sustainable financial model to facilitate boost oil and gas development projects. The council stressed the need for the government to facilitate a third-party gas pricing framework for the export market. The report further advised Tinubu's administration to enact a fiscal enablers for energy and deep water via finance and expand the stabilization over PIA to cover the full credit for post-final investment decisions, FIDs, levies and taxes. Bring Ready Brown project on stream from 10 critical gas projects and oil projects at FID, the report added. The council also advised that Tinubu's government to achieve a daily crude oil production target of 2.5 million barrels per day, 2.5 million barrels per day, and 5 billion cubic feet of gas daily by May 2027. It also recommended that the sale of NCP oils, gas, and assets and transit of money to a majority shareholder within the target to raise 17.4 billion from the assets. The council recommended the NNPCL should form global strategic partnerships with other co-ventures. Tinubu's advisory council also advised the new government to sell down interest in JVs to a monetary position and develop an operating model that eliminates cash calls, sell down / divest interest in the refineries and build NLLG operating model. Bring remaining brownfield project on stream, including 10 critical gas projects, 10 oil gas projects. Bring greenfield projects FID to grow production. Such projects included deep water oil and energy, non-associated gas projects. Develop the offshore gas hub and FLNG floating LNGs. It advised the Tinubu's administration to restore the nation's lost revenue by restoring oil and gas production with a view to ensuring that Nigeria liquefied natural gas plants run at 100% capacity and unlock 12 gigawatts of stranded gas-fired power generation. The council further proposed that the government should work towards growing the country's oil and gas capacity to 4 million barrels per day and 12 barrels something BCF/D to domestic and exports by 2030, 25 to 30 GW gigawatts of power generation by 2030. I mean, this is a long report. Let's carry on. 1 minute. To diversify the sources and to diversify revenue sources and boost job creation, the advisory council stressed the need for the government to convert oil and gas into industrial products and feedstocks, aggregate demand in industrial clusters, and prioritize export-oriented projects to improve bankability. Whilst proposing the need for Nigeria to transfer to net zero by 2060, the council advised that the gas should be used as a transitional fuel to displace diesel and biomass, reduce emissions in operations, and drive energy efficiency. The report further recommended that within the first 100 days, it constitute a team to evaluate portfolios of upstream, midstream, and downstream decisions analysis to carry out a high-level valuation and establish a range of consideration, commence preliminary engagement with potential buyers and financiers. In the first 18 months, with the assets of up to $4.5 billion, the government should appoint an external investment bank, legal advisor, financial advisor to identify and test transaction principles with key buyers. They should establish the transaction process and execution timeframe and assess market conditions for the transaction report explained. So I'm just trying to see if there's any more. So there you go. So that was a long report. So there's a lot on the entry of President Tinubu. What I would suggest is that to save us what do you think about this idea? The people, many of the money that has been stolen from by all of these so-called marketeers and those who are involved in the oil business, many of them I think the government would be, it would be good. Wouldn't it be good if they could say, right, okay, you are going to sell this, we're going to sell it to you. How can I put it? I'm trying to work out how to make this work. It would be good. Anyway, let's put it this way. Wouldn't it be good if the government could do something like this, whereby they say, fine, okay, you say you own that, so that you don't end up being in jail or whatever, the funds that you receive, they come to some sort of arrangement whereby a large 80 to 90% of the funds that they've taken that is clearly illegal gets back into the state government's hand, into the state's hand, and be used judiciously from there on. I don't know. Because clearly a lot of funds have gone missing. 80 to 90%. I'm just being realistic because this is where we are. I'm not in support of that, because there has to be a line drawn in the sand somewhere. And when you draw that line from here on, then we make sure that there's judiciary that's functioning, the executive is functioning, and of course the legislature, they are all functioning as they should within the framework of the law. Right now, everything is up for grabs. So whatever you investigate and everything else, because nobody's complying with the rule of law, it won't hold. It's like putting butter into a basket. It will never hold. So unless we define the parameters clearly, I think that's probably what we need to look at, because we're hearing that 17 billion. So for that to be saying it's worth 17 billion, imagine that there must have been double that amount that has been stolen by those who are running those NNPC right now. It must be. It doesn't, if they're saying it's worth 17 billion, look at what it says here, that they should sell it for 17 billion. You see? They will earn about 70 billion sale of NNPC stakes in the oil and gas assets. What they could do is get them to say, okay, fine, you're going to sell it. We're going to sell it, but we're going to do it in such a way that we get the money and you will pay to us, and we will then run those companies through the people we elect. Something like that. And then really make sure that the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature are all truly independent, and they're functioning as a viable arms of the government that are not going to be interfered with in any way, shape, or form. Other than that, any promise, if you do anything now, all of these things, they need to be addressed, and all of this. People who are looting money, the accountant general, the aviation minister, all of those people who have been involved, they should all be invited in, and 90% of whatever they looted should all be returned into the coffers of the nation. That's what I think. I'm just thinking anybody that's been found to have returned 90% of whatever it is you've stolen, and then can then begin and then have proper accountability from there on. Because if we do not do this, I don't see how this is going to work. It might be, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. What we need to do is be very, very clear about the parameters going forward. I don't know what you think about this, but it's good that they're trying to raise funds, but we have to be sure that we need to be clear that the money that they're trying to raise, it's within our economy, it's within the hands of those who looted from us. Sirika, for example, and Ahmed, the accountant general, so many others people, the governors, and all of the people who are just looting for the sake of looting and not being held accountable. I think that's where we start. If we do not have those functioning judiciary, executive, and legislature truly working and following the rules of law, whatever you try to do will never work. That's my own view. What's your take on it? You're watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power about Electron. Please do share. Leave a comment. Let's hear from you. Please subscribe to Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you and bye for now. Before I go, let me just show you what you need to do. Go ahead. Sorry, let me just do that one more time. So subscribe to Citizen Network, hit the notification button, and of course, finally give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. We really would appreciate your support in doing that. So there you go. Thank you so much. You've been watching Citizen Network, the platform where we speak truth to power. What's your take on this? Leave a comment. Thank you very much, and bye for now.